What is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video where today we have a fun team sent in by Jamie from Palette, and he is rocking a triple insect theme team featuring Golisopod, who now has access to the move Liquidation and is suddenly a solid pick in the Great League meta. He's pairing it with Drapion and Buzzwole for a pretty fun theme team. Drapion's based off a scorpion, right? Like, is a scorpion technically an insect? I don't know. You can fact check the title in the comments as Jamie and his Golisopod just absorb all the damage from that Shadow Sandslash. And this thing, man, it looks kind of scary, and it has some solid play in the meta with access to Shadow Claw, one of the best fast moves in the game, and Liquidation, solid new charge move, a clone of Crunch, but a water type move, and probably one of the coolest animations. And then, of course, Buzzwole, probably a little bit overlooked, Buzzwole is, with Metacham being the most popular fighter, but Buzzwole has some pretty solid play as well whenever you have access to a debuff move like Lunge. It can be really, really valuable in late game situations when your opponent cannot clear that debuff. But Shadow Drapion going for the double crunch, the quick swap into Buzzwole before Metacham can reach the Psychic, and Buzzwole is going to get off the lunge, which should knock out the Sableye from this range. Neutral damage. Oh, just short, actually. I was wrong. But Buzzwole packs a punch for sure. So those lunges tend to do a lot of heavy damage and also debuff your opponent's attack. Jamie from Palette. Very cool guy. Had the pleasure of meeting him in Milwaukee just last weekend for the first time in person. And he's going up against a Haxorus here. Going for the crunch. It's going to be a CMP, unlikely a breaking swipe. So Jamie may pivot out of here. Let's see, because it doesn't look like Drapion's going to reach a second charge move. Haxorus very oppressive now with that breaking swipe. So forces your opponent to give up switch. And yeah, we're just going to see the opponent go for another one. Why not? And now the Buzzwole is debuffed, and they swap in Tentacruel. This is not looking good. I did my GBL sets last night off stream. I was just kind of lying in bed at midnight and decided to do my GBL sets. Probably not the best habit. I'm sure some of you guys watching can relate. Maybe sometimes it's late at night. You should probably be going to sleep, getting a good night's rest, but you do your GBL sets instead. And Haxorus, dude, was giving me problems. I was running like a bunch of different teams, and Haxorus lead was giving me problems because it's just so oppressive, and you can also debuff your opponent. Kind of forces you to give up switch a lot of the time. So this is all on the back of Mr. Golisopod. Another move coming in. This is brutal. Probably an Acid Spray. So Jamie takes the Acid Spray, but it is a Registeel, so this game is not over. This game is not over because there is zero fast move pressure from Registeel. So if Golisopod, and it got the defense fell, that's huge. Another Liquidation coming through. It lands. Now Jamie can probably shield once and farm all the way down. Zap Cannon. Is there a debuff? There is. But Jamie gonna commit to the full farm down. Has double Liquidation stored. Going for the X-Scissor, because that's all you're obviously gonna need to take out Haxorus. Tentacruel is low. Just going for more X-Scissor. Bruh! This looked like Jamie was in a rough spot, but Golisopod said no worries. I put the team on my back. And knocks out the Tentacruel, or Squidward as we like to call him. Very nicely done. You know, trivia, I think we've mentioned this in a previous video, but Squidward Tentacles, the popular character from SpongeBob, show I watched from time I was a small child to probably through high school. Squidward is actually an octopus, not a squid, believe it or not. Some of you guys are probably like, yep, obviously Rise. And some of you are probably like, what? That can't be. His name is Squidward. I know. He's actually an octopus. Body Slam gets shielded by Buzzswole. Gets the full counter down. In comes Jelly. This is a little unfortunate because all this energy you built up just kind of gets absorbed by the Jelly. Will we see Jamie swap out, bank a move, or will he just let this go down? You know, letting it go down is probably the better play because you get off a lot of nice chip damage here. And now Jelly, like, yeah, this is a good spot. Acrobatics is going to hurt Drapion, but Drapion's so healthy, should be able to tank it. I just guess you run the risk of getting farmed down, but I think Drapion... Okay, no, going to shield the Acrobatics. That makes sense. The only concern here, as Jamie goes for the bait, a little bit risky. Aqua Tail grabs a shield. Just going back to back. Wants to get off this damage. Maybe even grab a shield. The risk you run here is now Jelly's going to be able to land a Shadow Ball on the Golisopod. Acrobatics does KO. Shadow Ball going to be coming through doing big damage, but it's not quite Surf range, and X-Scissor should be enough to KO from here, despite being resisted by that Ghost typing. X-Scissor is enough. Just got to get to one more against Jump Bluff. And Golisopod is going to outpace since Jump Bluff just threw that Acrobatics at the Drapion. That is a G to the G. And the Triple Insect team is showing up and showing out. We haven't used that phrase in a while. I remember back in the day, someone said that was like my signature phrase. We used to say that a lot more. Isn't that weird? We stopped saying it for some reason? Huh, man. My mind is weird. I think about those things like, why is it I used to say that all the time and now I don't say it as much? Unfortunately gets baited with the Poison Fang. You kind of have to respect that Earth power. Gets a shield back though, which is kind of nice. Banks some energy before exiting. And as long as Umbreon doesn't have Psychic, this is a pretty solid matchup. You do see the Last Resort does quite a bit. I like Jamie throwing the lunge here to debuff the Umbreon, because now you should be able to tank the next Last Resort, versus if he hadn't thrown the lunge, Last Resort may have threatened to knock out here. Going to get the farm down. Looks like he's going to go for the superpower, doing a little bit more damage since he's going down anyway. And this should put it around Aqua Tail range. Yeah, it should put it into Aqua Tail range. Throws immediately a nice catch onto the Sableye, but this is fine. Goes straight into Golisopod and understands that, like, as long as he keeps his Drapion around with a shield, Drapion should be able to just get to 2 Aqua Tails. And this is going to be a GG. No need to shield here. Just save the shield for Drapion's the safer play. What you don't want to happen is, like, you shield, they farm down, and somehow Nidoqueen, like, wins CMP. I think Drapion would win CMP anyway, but let's see. Yeah. Drapion looking fierce. Looking scary. And takes down the Nidoqueen. That's where Aqua Tail is just so spammy and so nice to have, because rather than taking 10 turns to get to a crunch, which would 2-shot the Nidoqueen, you only need 8 turns to get to each Aqua Tail. They're so fast. Altaria, kind of tough for this team, but this is where you want to see it if you're Jamie against the Drapion. Drapion just so spammy, of course, can 2-shot the Altaria. Altaria should get to 2 Sky Attacks before Drapion gets to the 3rd crunch, so Altaria will have to throw immediately here to make sure that they get off this Sky Attack first. And Jamie, recognizing that, actually opts just for the Aqua Tail. That's an interesting play. Oh, it gets the shield too. So if the opponent was... It's tougher when you're in the moment, right? But if the opponent was super on point with their counting, would have known that was an Aqua Tail. Comes in Golisopod. Gonna Get off the liquidation right before the sky attack. I love this play. X's or might have been enough from here, but sometimes you'd rather be safe than sorry. And what's going to come in? Walrein. Oh my god. They are weak to Golisopod. I think the correct pronunciation might be Golisopod, but it is what it is. Let me know in the comments. Oof. Saves all the energy. See, I would have liked to see the opponent throw a move at Buzzwole there and then go Sableye. Because if you spear, there's a chance you could, like... If you spear the Buzzwole, you swap, there's a chance you could farm all the way down, take a lunge, and come out with a move for Golisopod. But now I think Jamie's in a pretty confident position. If he can live one Powder Snow, he just wins on the spot. Doesn't live the Powder Snow, but he has a lot of energy stored. And if this doesn't KO, Golisopod will win the charge move priority for the next one. And that is a G to the G. But yeah, I think it is Golisopod. Resists everything that Walrein's going to throw at you, so it does really well against a lot of the water types, since it can deal out neutral damage and only take resisted damage. Kind of walls Swampert as well. Doesn't wall Azu as much. Yeah, the Azu, it probably loses Azu, but... Let's see, Drapion into Peli. Backline does not want to see Pelipperso. Once again, good to see the flyer in the lead here. Gonna tank the first Weather Ball. You're not in jeopardy of getting like Wing Attack down, so this makes sense. Throws the Crunch right before the second Weather Ball, so Pelipper should have the Weather Ball now. I like that Jamie didn't throw immediately, knowing that he would lose CMP. And just going to go for the Aqua Tail here. After taking the Crunch, Aqua Tail should be about enough to knock out Peli, and it does. In comes Swampert. I think would have reached the Crunch. We'll see if he lives the Mud Shot that went through here. Yeah, so would have reached the Crunch, but that's fine. Comes in Golisopod. A little bit awkward. Goes for the Liquidation here. And it is a charge move priority. Yeah, I agree with this. Preserve the health on Golisopod. A little awkward now. Because that was CMP again. So Golisopod... I don't know if it lives. I don't think it would live the foul play. Let's see. Does not live. So now I guess you gotta... Oh man, this is so awkward. Oh, that's just foul play. So a bit of a mistake by the opponent. They needed to commit to return. They needed to commit to return. I can break this down afterwards. Because that was a CMP right there with the Swampert. And it allows Jamie to outpace and get to 2 moves. So this is one of those scenarios that you may find yourself in where there's really no reason to settle for the non-threatening move. You have to commit to the heavy-hitting charge move. So if we do a little bit of an instant replay, I'll go back quite a bit. So let's keep track of the energy here. Swampert, I think that's 3. 4 mud shots for Swampert. So Swampert's at 4. Swampert's at 4. We can fast forward a little bit through this matchup. Foul play is going to come through on CMP, knock out the Golisopod. So you're 1 away from Hydro Cannon. You're 1 away from Hydro Cannon on your Swampert. As long as Sableye does enough fast move damage, you're probably going to get this thing into Hydro Cannon anyway. So Sableye here needs to commit to the return. Because if you commit to the return, if you're Sableye, the return's going to KO. And it's going to force Jamie to throw his energy before the return. And then Swampert, being only 1 mud shot away from Hydro, would be able to simply do 1 mud shot and land the Hydro. Because at this point, I believe Sableye would be 2 minimum, maybe 3 maybe 3 Shadow Claws away. So if Jamie overfarmed perfectly, I guess there's still the chance that he wins. But this kind of just gives away the game, in my opinion, if you're the opponent. So you want to commit to that return. Let me know in the comments if that explanation made sense to you. Might have been a little bit wordy, but that's a common situation I see when I do like coaching sessions and stuff. Sometimes you just got to commit to the heavy hitting move. There's no point in settling for the non-threatening move. Okay, interesting. Swaps Golisopod, and it's met by Cofagrigus, and this is not very good for Cofagrigus, so the opponent might not be... they might just not have a good answer in general to the Golisopod, or they might not be sure like what to do. Psychic, okay. Over farming here. Wow, gets the full farm down. Really nice counting by Jamie, and has all this energy, dude. And Golisopod is like a wrecking ball right now, just going through the team. Gets the defense fell. Holy guacamole. Look at this insect. Gets, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it gets the CMP. Golisopod's about to take out 2 Pokemon all by itself. Okay, not quite, but took out a Pokemon in both shields. That is wild. And it's a power-up punch. Jamie just immediately swaps. That seemed fast. Is this a threatening move? It is, yeah. Rise would have got one shot there, potentially. Wasn't paying attention. And going for the lunge. I don't know if I agree with this play. I think you just superpowered it. Basically one-shots the Walrein. But this is fine. I guess if you lunge, you can then like take it and counter down. So that makes sense. That makes sense. And gonna superpower the Metacham for a little bit of BM. Just a tasteful little BM. Is it BM? Because superpower is all you need to KO. It is resisted though. I don't know. Comment down below. Was that a BM or was that not a BM? It's like a... To me, that's like a very subtle BM. Bold Bernard is the next opponent. Drapion into Metacham. So Jamie seems to just swap Golisopod here. Drapion doesn't do that bad against Medi, but with this team, you probably have to lure out like the bug counter. So it makes sense to be swapping out. Lands the liquidation, gets the defense fell. So might be able to fully farm down here. I think he needs the next 2 Shadow Claws to KO. Oh, 3. No, I was wrong. Yeah, really nice. This Golisopod safe swap is just giving... Oh my gosh, Swampert. They're triple weak to the pod. Bruh. This video is making me want to start running Golisopod. Another move coming through. I don't know if Swampert even lives. So yeah, Swampert's forced to shield. Hydro Cannon should just about KO from here. And you come in with Buzzswole. This is so good. Because now you can lunge Medi. And then maybe get out of there. It's just so nice when you can lunge something and then dip. Oh, going for a catch. It doesn't get the catch. But is in a pretty commanding position because Medi usually doesn't have any threatening charge moves to Drapion. So all Medi can do is spam off Ice Punches here to chip away. What you don't want to risk, though, is like allowing Swampert to get a big mud shot down. But you should be fine. You've got all this energy. So you're going to get a shield back against Swampert if they try to farm down. Goes for the Aqua Tail, actually. Yeah, Swampert's already been chipped quite a bit. So this makes sense. They're forced to shield. And you still have a shield for Buzz. And Buzz would probably live a Hydro from this range anyway. Maybe not from a Shadow Swampert, but from a normal Swampert it would. And that is a G to the G. Has Jamie lost this video? I feel like there's been like one loss maybe. On an absolute tear. Straight bugging. Next opponent, here we go. Okay, so this is where you want to see the Charizard. I think you always build up... Oh, they swap immediately. Oh, this is great. I like that play. Like, so here's the thing, is normally, I think if there's a safe swap that you don't have... Whoa, that Blizzard hurt. If there's a safe swap that you don't have, like, a hard punish to, and it's more of a neutral or a soft counter, you usually want to swap right away. This is a scenario where the Golisopod is a pretty comfortable answer for Whiscash. I wasn't counting. Hopefully he didn't get to a Blizzard there. It was a Blizzard. Wow. Well, at least Jamie should get a shield back. The concern here is Charizard gets a little bit of farm. And now one shield is going to be off the table both ways. So you probably just want to Aqua Tail here, but anticipates the swap. And I like this. Banks 2 Aqua Tails. Now they land the Stone Edge. This is a little awkward. Go straight for the superpower. It'll do more damage. Whiscash doesn't shield. This is really good for Jamie. You let this go, and you hope that you live. You don't live, but you can overfarm here. And now Drapion is only like 2 Poison Stings off double, and Charizard only has like a Claw. Oh, and they shielded. So that should just seal the deal here. Because there's no way Charizard's going to get to 2 moves before the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail probably won't quite KO, but it should put Charizard low enough, yeah, where it's not going to get to 2 claws. If this Poison Sting doesn't KO, the next one should. But that Poison Sting did KO. And Drapion, dude. Drapion was like, yo, Golisopod, you're stealing the show. I got to show people I'm still a force to be reckoned with as well. And here we go. Going up against Bean. I don't think that's the streamer Bean. That's a different Bean. Lots of Metacham leads. And, okay, this is interesting. I was actually curious, like, how this matchup would play out. Goes for the Liquidation. A debuff would be pretty nice. Oh, gets a shield. So here's the awkward thing is Buzzwole, as opposed to, like, Metacham as a counter user, that Flamethrower is a little bit more threatening. So we may see Jamie commit a Protect Shield here. And does the Bastiodon get to a second Flamethrower? Or does Jamie get the counter down? Oh, it does get there. That's unfortunate. So Jamie is going to shield, but he's going to come out with lots of energy. And does Metacham come in? It does. So it could be like double steal. Could be double steal. Goes for the lunge. Swaps. Catches. Oh my god, did he catch a Psychic? What a catch. What a catch. Opponent goes for a catch of their own, but like Jamie would throw Crunch at the Lickitung anyway. Seems to be in a solid spot. I guess it's still a little bit sketchy because he doesn't have any shields remaining. So if the Metacham reaches a Psychic, it's over. But Buzzwole's going to get a nice farm down here. And Jamie just needs to get to 2 lunges. I think he's still 1 short. Oh no, was that a CMP? Oh man. It was a CMP. Is this the Psychic? It's just an Ice Punch. And Jamie and his Buzzwole are going to collect another victory. Wow. What a showcase. I wasn't counting the Metacham. If Metacham could have done 1 more counter. And maybe they would have reached the Psychic, but maybe they knew they weren't going to get there, so they had to settle for Ice Punch. But wow, what a game. What a showcase of this triple insect team. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to smash that like button, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'll leave a link to Jamie's socials in the description if you want to go check out Jamie from Palette as well. All that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.